Hello and welcome to tutorial 197. If you're interested in learning easy language, then please go to markplex.com and join the email list. So a Gold Pass member asked me about how to create a program that would store information about several indicators applied to a chart. In other words, for each bar, it would store the value of several indicators. So what I've done is used Excel, and unfortunately this tutorial only applies to TradeStation, to store a bar number, the date, the time, also the close, open, high, low, and then the results of three indicators. This is just showing how you could do that. What I've used in this case is CCI, RSI and average. First of all, let's have a look at the spreadsheet. This is Excel. I'm using the feature of Excel to format the bars. That is happening as the program updates. You can see the most recent bar here is updating in real time. We'll look more at the formatting at the end, but first of all, let's have a look at the program. And this is covering similar material that we looked at in tutorial 150, 113, 112 and 96 if you want to look back at some of those tutorials. But what we do, the inputs has got the name of the sheet. Now what is quite important in this tutorial is that you do have a sheet stored at the place on your computer that you're putting here. So what I've done it in a directory where I put my Markplex work, and I've just called it T197XLSX, and the sheet name I've called, or I think it was sheet 1 by default. When we initialize our worksheet, and we can do that in the program if we just go to this symbol here and double click here, then you'll get some designer generated code and you will get this appearing in the program. And what we do, we open a new workbook, which we're calling WB. We're saying that the name of the workbook is the file name that we already discussed. In other words, a file that you have stored on your computer already. I've said shared false. I've said WB.visible is true. In other words, we want to look at the spreadsheet as it's developing. We're loading. WB.load is true, and we're going to save it on close, and the name of the workbook is WB. And then what I've done on when the program is uninitialized, I've closed the workbook. And then very simple, when the counter is 1, we add to the chart our headings. If we go right up to the top of the chart, you'll see we've got some headings here so we know what's in each column. And then following that, for each bar on the chart, we add following information. Well, we actually increment the counter. We calculate the example calculations for these indicators, CCI, RSI and average. And then we add the data to the spreadsheet. And the syntax for that is WB square brackets sheet name. Remember, sheet name, we have included that in the inputs, and that's simply sheet 1 dot cells, and then we have 1 for the column, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 up to 10, and then the counter for the row. And then we're putting in there the counter, in fact counter -1, date, time, close, open, high, low, and then the values of the indicator. And we're also doing an example plot just so that we can see that this thing is working. So very, very simple way of doing this. And if we go back to the Excel, you can see the information. And one of the things that I found quite interesting is the Gold Pass member who wanted to do some offline analysis of the data. But what you could also do is in real time, you could see your data. And by using some of the home conditional formatting, you can get some very interesting effects. So bars colored in real time, highlighting information. So for example, for the CCI, what I've done In fact, let's have a look at the rules and we can just look at the exact rules that I've. So if we're interested in this column, what I'm going to first of all do is highlight the column. Then I'm going to go Home, Conditional Formatting. Then I'm going to say Manage Rules, and I can see all the rules that I've got applied to this column. And let's have a look at those. So what I've said, if a cell value is less than minus 175, I'm colouring it this colour. If it's greater than 175, I'm colouring it the purple and the red. If the cell value is less than 0, it's red with white text. If it's greater, it's a dark red with white text. And I've also got a data bar. And if we just edit that rule, you'll see that what we have is a gradient fill of a certain color. And what that is doing is just showing how strong the value is compared to the rest of the values on the chart here. So for example, this 57 is represented by that line there, but obviously 160 is bigger, so the line is greater, and so on. This is not supposed to be a conditional formatting tutorial, but I can imagine some value in being able to add this to a chart and watch the values change in real time. Anyway, I will put the tutorial program on the website page. It will be free for Gold Pass members, and I hope you found it useful. Incidentally, if you get an error saying that the program cannot find the file, then first of all make sure that the file is in a place that's accessible on your computer, that there is a Excel spreadsheet with the applicable name, and if necessary just Control R to restart the program. Anyway, thank you very much.